What's going on, guys? It's Kyle here with Gnarly Knives. This is going to be a really quick video. It's not really a review or anything. It's just, you probably guessed from the title, but just a new direction I'm going to be going with this now semi-retired Benchmade Freak. So this knife, more or less, like I've done a review on this and stuff. There was actually probably one of my earlier videos, probably the first, like within the first 10 videos I made, I did the review on this. So I've probably now had this knife, I'm going to guess probably over 2 years, maybe close to 2.5 years. But in that time, it's followed me to a couple different jobs. And I've, like in the video, I talked about a bunch of stuff I've used it for. So I won't go like full details, but anything from cutting carpet, opening paint cans, just scraping things, just really putting the knife through hell. And it shows. But I think that's one of the things I love so much about it and why I just don't have the heart to fully retire it. I mean, I guess, you know, not like retire it like I'd ever get rid of it or anything, but it's definitely going to be semi-retired because it's not going to be my regular work knife. Actually, now what I'm carrying is the Cold Steel Code 4. So that actually has been working pretty well. I might stick with it. The only thing I've just kind of noticed is because it does have, you know, the slick aluminum handles, though the finger grooves and stuff, you can get a good grip on it, but depending on what you're doing or if you're holding it in a weird angle, it does tend to kind of slide around in the hand. So we'll see. I mean, I love the knife. It's nothing against the knife itself. I mean, the steel is really good. The S35VN. It's just, you know, we'll kind of see. Time will tell. I use that off and on over the last couple years. If like this was getting pretty dull and I didn't have time to sharpen it or something, you know, I would grab that. So that was kind of a part-time work knife, whereas now it's kind of full-time, and which leads me to why I kind of was at that transitional point of, you know, trying to find a new work knife because I recently started a new job. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been on. Yeah, it's probably been about 2 weeks, you know, just over 2 weeks since my last video, since I've, you know, started making videos more consistently again. But I recently started a new job, and not that it's anything super crazy, but I really can't, I'm not supposed to really talk too much about it. But it more or less just has to do with working with security systems. I'm not a security guard, it's nothing like that, but it's just, you know, you're just not supposed to really talk much about it in general, I guess. But anyway, but that being said, I was just kind of like, you know, do I want to get a new knife, which I always do, but just trying to justify like just dropping the extra money. So that's why right now I'm working with the Code 4, which I love. So we're just, you know, I said time will tell. But with the Freak, what I've done is the reason I'm thinking of, you know, wanting to retire it is because this knife has gone through so much shit that it's, you know, in a sense, kind of wearing out a bit. More so the handle, but the blade is, I'll show you the blade in a minute. But the handle, the rubber handle on it, I mean, I love it. It is very comfortable. I even said in the video when I did the full review, and then just mentioning it in other videos, that this is one of the most comfortable handled knives. And this is the standard one with the rubberized handle, the M4 version. That I believe only comes in G10, which is still very comfortable. I've had the opportunity to handle them at the stores before, but I really like the rubber on this because it just gives you that extra amount of grip. But you can kind of see in certain spots where it's where the rubber's worn down to the plastic underneath. Even up here, you can see that shiny. There's bits of shiny all over it. That's actually from super glue, where it would just start rubbing and peeling off. You can see little bits of the shiny here, but even that starts to rub off. But it would just start kind of flapping. I've put so much super glue up in here where it actually has a hump now because this would just start to peel away from the knife. And I don't think that's necessarily a detriment to the knife. It's just, you know, being in and out of the pocket, dropping it off ladders, just, you know, doing tons of stuff and just going up against a lot of things. It's just been hard on the knife. But I'll show you the edge here, and then I'll kind of get into more what I did with it. So you can see the edge is actually receding up beyond where the choil once was. Now, this isn't the same knife, but it'll give you an idea of how the knife really looked. Because you can see here, this is the Tactical Triage by Benchmade, but you can see where that choil is. It's probably about 1/8 of an inch from the edge up to where the rest of the knife is, and it's completely gone here. It's actually receded past it. So this knife has definitely changed a lot, and you can probably tell too the difference if you see the edge on the Triage, how small it is, because this is still the factory edge. I've sharpened it the one time, and that's pretty much it. I've used it off and on, but I think they've discontinued this, so I try to not use it too much. I just more play with it, and once in a while I'll carry it. But I think a lot of just because it's just a very attractive knife to me. But what's good though is in this instance is you can get a very accurate idea of how much the edge is receded, and you can probably tell just how fat the edge on this is now. And I know it's kind of tough to pick up. I'll try to show you better in a minute, but I've spent a good part of today off and on. It's because my kid was homesick today from daycare, so I spent the day with her and just off and on while, you know, if I'd have her chilling or she was napping or whatever, I'd be able to go run and just do a stone or two at a time. But I've put a very nice, I might add, mirror polish on this. I'll try and see if I can. I know it's kind of tough to tell up, but I will have pictures of this on my Instagram, which is by the same name. So to get a really good idea of how the mirror edge turned out, right after I put up this video, or probably while this video is loading, I'll put up a couple pictures that I have of showing more how the mirror turned out, because this is definitely one of the better mirrors that I've done. I'm really happy with it, but it is insanely sharp, and that was one of the problems I was having, was because I had sharpened it so much. It was getting to the point where after every couple sharpenings, I would have to do these crazy, like I would just have to reprofile, more than just, you know, throwing it on the stones really quick and bringing the edge right back. But the last 6 months of use on it, you know, it got to the point where I just didn't want to use it very hard because of that, because I was just spending so much time sharpening it. But it got to the point where, you know, of course it was nice and thin where the edge was originally, but as you're sharpening and you're receding up the blade, it's getting thicker and thicker and thicker. So it was getting to the point where I was just having to remove so much material. And if I keep using it like that, I mean, you know, in probably another like 2, 3, 4 years, you know, I'll basically have a little cheese knife where the blade will just be up where the saber grind starts, you know. And I guess then, yeah, I mean, you know, it'll be a cheese knife. I mean, now the action's a little, it's been sitting for a couple months too. And I don't think I cleaned it before I put it away. So if I get a chance later, I'm going to take this apart and give it a good cleaning. But it's new life now, because that was the thing. I wasn't sure if I could get it sharp anymore. I wasn't sure like what was going on. And, but that was it. I probably spent a solid 40 minutes on, my coarsest whetstone, which was another excuse too. Like, I haven't used the whetstones in a while. But I spent probably close to 40 minutes just, you know, but taking my time with it, but just getting it fully reprofiled, you know. And if I do say so myself, I mean, I think that came out pretty good. I mean, you know, trying to, you know, pat myself on the back too much. But it's just the excitement, because I just more or less had just given the knife up for, you know, dead basically. But now what I'm going to use this as is a carving knife. I'm going to throw this in my carving kit, and I'm going to have a cool Benchmade carving knife, a folding carver, because how thin this grind is. Because I've kind of done this with other knives, but intentionally just put really thin edges, you know, like like really, you know, thin edges versus their like thicker factory edges. And they carve great, because this, you know, in a sense, it's almost like a mini Scandi grind now, you know. And just because of how sharp it is now, I know that, you know, it's going to do great, make really clean cuts. And especially for the size of the knife too. I mean, you don't really need much more length than this. I mean, they make carving knives that are, you know, the blade's only 1 inch long. But then too, because it has a really nice belly and now a really fine, delicate point, I think this is going to make a great carving knife, and that's what I'm planning on using it for now. I mean, it's not going to be the only one I ever use, but it'll be fun once in a while to bust it out. And now that I put a good sharp edge on it, I know it will do very well at that, and it'll be kind of fun because now it's semi-retired, you know. And then too, because I'll just be using it for carving, it's not going to be as tough on the edge. You know, so this will be something that I hopefully won't need to sharpen very often unless I drop it or something like that, you know, and really damage the edge. But this will be something now that, you know, I can pretty much just maintain with strops, maybe occasionally, you know, once in a while, you know, throw it on like my little 10,000 or even my 12,000 grit stone, just to give it a few passes, just to kind of get a little bit of fresh metal in there. But I'm really happy with it, you know. And it was something that was sad. Whenever I would pop up, you know, I'd be going through my knife box with my pocket knives, I would just see it and be sad, you know. Like all the other knives in there are very sharp, and then this one was just, you know, relatively dull, and it just made me feel bad, you know. And then I don't know what happened today. I just grabbed it and was like, you know what, let's do something with it. Forgive me, I just got the mosquitoes coming in, so that's why I keep scratching and moving around. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, because it's, you know, I'm not really doing a review or anything like that. This was just kind of, you know, let you guys know I'm still here. I haven't gone away, and kind of, you know, why the last couple weeks I haven't really been around. But also too, because I had a chance to do this and I wanted to show you guys. So, you know, if any of you guys have any like old knives that have just been basically just over sharpened over the years of just so much use, that, you know, if you do carving or just for funsies, just do that. Just do an extreme reprofile on it. And if it's something you only use occasionally, you know, or if you reserve it for, you know, more light tasks, just opening boxes and stuff like that, you know, it will last you a long time, where you'll be able to basically just maintain it with a strop, you know. And that's one of the things I was thinking about, just made me really excited. But that's pretty much it there, you know. I mean, just remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, and check us out on Instagram too, especially too, so you can check out some good pictures with this, kind of showing better how it turned out. Yeah, just remember to keep carving and stay sharp. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.